Welcome to Espresso Yourself, the podcast where mom life, running life, and teaching life collide.
We're three women juggling lesson plans, long runs, and real life chaos, sharing honest conversations about motherhood, miles, and making a difference in and out of the classroom.
Whether you're listening on a run, in the carpool line, or hiding out with your coffee, you're in the right place.
So lace up,
Tune in,
And let's do life together.
welcome back to Espresso Yourself. This week, we are going to do things a little different. It's a new year, it's a new us. So we've decided to change our episodes a little bit this year, do some tweaking, and we've decided we're going to try to make our episodes a little bit shorter for our listeners. And we're going to do them a little bit more updated. So right now we're recording and you're going to hear this podcast in a couple days. So everything that we record will be current in our lives at the time. So our updates will be as of this week and not a week ago. So it's a new year, new us, and we're going to spend most of our time just kind of catching up and then maybe talking about a topic here or there or some current events. But really just it's three girls who share the same interest, who are just talking and catching up. And you can relate probably somewhere in our conversations as runners, moms, or teachers. So speaking of our catch up time, we know that Katie has a big marathon that she's been training for, one that she does every year, and she's going to be running it tomorrow. So we'd love to hear how your week went, Katie, training and prepping for your marathon tomorrow.
So I only ran, I think, 3 days this week. I only ran 3 days this week. I was planning 4, and then I just decided to do 3 because my sleep wasn't that great, kind of Monday through Thursday. So I decided let me just go ahead and skip a run on Wednesday and just focus on sleep. But I started carving up on Wednesday. And the last 2 days, I just feel like I've just been shoving food in my mouth every couple hours. I'm like, okay, it's time for me to eat again. It's time for me to eat again. And last night we went out for a pasta dinner, and it was so the Italian restaurant in our city, the owner used to run marathons. And so every year he offers free pasta plates to the marathon runners for just this race. And so we all went and we got our free pasta plate, but I could not finish mine. I was like, I know I need to eat more, but I could not. But it's been really good. We had a lot of fun yesterday. We went to the expo, and the expo is huge. There had to have been close to 5,000 people there when I was there. And I was there for about 3 hours.
It has to be huge because it's Texas.
Yes. Well, and there's 35,000 people running tomorrow. So we're almost equivalent to Chicago, or, we're not a world major, but we have so many people that run it that it is almost equivalent to it. So, this morning they had the 5K, and then tomorrow they'll do the half and the full. And so we picked up our bibs yesterday, and then today I've just been kind of laying around the house, laying low. I had to go out and get a couple more things, but for the most part, I'm home. I've just been eating and resting. Let me see what else. Oh, just eating a lot. My husband, he got his bike, so he follows me on the course. And so we got his bike, and he added all of my friends, and he's scrolling the app last night, and he goes, I'm tracking a lot of people. I said, how many people are you tracking? 35 people on this app. And I was like, you're not going to go find all 35 of them. And he's like, no, but I'm probably going to go find at least 25 of them. And I'm like, okay. Tonight he's going to pack his backpack, have it all ready for tomorrow. But I was telling my running friends this weird tradition he has. And so I want to tell you all this because we have our traditions, right? Of things that we do, our routine, but he follows me every year on this race.
Is this a Texas tradition?
No, but it's a funny thing. Y'all are going to find it funny. I will tell you a Texas thing that the race does do. But where we park, there is a Holiday Inn across the street. And so we start in our big convention center in Houston. And so where we park is about half a mile away from the convention center. And so he'll take me to the convention center, drop me off, and say, okay, good luck, send me off. And I walk to my corral. And he can't go with me any further than like there. So we usually split off there. He lets me go. And then he goes back to the car to go get the bike. But before he gets the bike, he goes across the street to the Holiday Inn and he has their breakfast, their continental breakfast they provide for people who stay at the Holiday Inn. He never stays at the Holiday Inn, but he goes in there and pretends like he's some room number, whatever room number it is, and he gets continental breakfast from the Holiday Inn every year. And last year, he pulled somebody else into it. There was somebody, it was one of our friends, their son, who's in high school. Both of the parents were running, and he was gonna go with Omar to like spectate. He had a bike too. And so he's like, okay, let's go get our bikes. He's like, oh wait, before we do that, we're gonna go get breakfast. And the kid's like, what do you mean we're gonna go get breakfast? He's like, oh, we just go right here. And the kid was like freaking out. He's like, oh my gosh, I'm taking breakfast from a place I'm not supposed to be eating. But he does it every single year. He's even talking about what he's gonna get tomorrow morning when he goes and gets his free continental breakfast from the Holiday Inn.
That's amazing. I love it. I love it. It's the only non-Texas thing tradition that you have told, and it's the best.
But yeah, it's pretty funny. So the one thing the race does, it's very Texas. Now, this will never be like me or any of my friends because we're not elites. But the elites, when they win, they not only get their medal, but they gift them a cowboy hat. And they get to wear a cowboy hat to all the press and all the stuff after, once they've won. But they get cowboy hats every year.
I thought
So
you were going to say, oh, and they're going to get their finisher's mug.
they do get that. But I think the cooler thing is their cowboy hat.
They're going to say they're going to give them a Texas mum so that everyone can know when they're
No,
coming.
They're very proud of their cowboy hats. Like there was even an elite that she's like, man, I just want to win so I can get a cowboy hat. Like the fact that elite person said like she just wants the cowboy hat. I said, because that's what we're known for.
That's perfect. I love that. What a good tradition. I actually love that, like, I feel bad for, like, people who are coming to watch me in a race, especially in a marathon, because it's a long time, and I just remember when Clinton and Carson and one of our friends tracked me through Chicago Marathon, they hopped on the train and, like, met me at all the different spots, and, like, that was their whole time, but I feel like Omar, like, this is his own event every year. And I think that's so cool because it's not always fun for spectators because you're waiting and you're watching and you might miss them and you don't know. But like, I love that he follows you on the bike and he goes and gets his breakfast. And I just think that's so cool. I'm really actually excited next week when we talk because I want to know like the best signs that are out there or the best costumes that are out there. Like, those are the really funny things that like people I just love it. I think those are so fun as, like, being a part of the marathon.
So a fun fact, a friend of mine who I don't run with her as much anymore, but I used to run with her a lot. She is pretty much she has her PhD in like physics or something. She's pretty much like a real life scientist and she works for Dow, which is a huge oil and gas company down here. And she got into marathon running and she's Mongolian. So she's like super proud of her Mongolian heritage, but she decided she wanted to break a Guinness World Record. And the Guinness World Record is the fastest marathon dressed as a scientist. And so she had to have like gloves, the goggles, the white coat, and then there was something else she had to have on. And you have to keep it on the entire time. And the old record used to be like 3:19. She ran it last year, or she tried to break it 2 years ago and didn't quite break it. I think she like hit like 3:25 or something like that. So last year she attempted it again and she broke it. And funny enough, like you have to have evidence. So her fiance at the time rented a bike, had to get a camera and film her along the way to prove that she ran the full marathon in all of this gear and kept it on the entire time to be like, hey, and then she ended up she set the Guinness World Record, got her little plaque and all that. And she set it in 3:17. Yeah, that's the new record is 3:17.
Awesome. Wow.
But yeah, no, there's people that are there to set Guinness World Records or just having fun or, trying to PR. I think tomorrow I just wanna go have fun. I have a time goal, but I'm not stressing about it. I'm not like, "Oh my gosh, if I don't get it." I'm like, "Okay, cool, whatever." Like, I just wanna finish and have fun. Like, this is number 23. Like, I'm just thankful to still be doing this and doing it healthy at that. Because there's a lot of people who I don't really run with anymore, I used to train with, and a lot of them are going into this race with, like, aches and pains and injuries and just taking that risk, and I'm like, "You know what? I I'm not. Like, I'm healthy as can be, I feel great, I don't have any aches or pains, and I'm just thankful to be going into it healthy like that." A lot of them aren't, so I'm just gonna enjoy it.
Did you decide to take Monday off?
No. I actually have to go to work Monday because I have to take Wednesday off for my father-in-law. So I do have to go to work on Monday. But the joke is, so my big boss came in and she found out I was running it and she was asking me questions. And I was like, well, if you come and see me Monday, I said, you're going to see me hobbling. And I said, it's going to be comical. Like, you're going to see me walking like I'm constipated or, like I walk funny. And she's like, oh, I won't laugh. I said, no, 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 you can laugh. Like, it is funny. Watching a person ride out the day after a marathon is hilarious. Like, we cannot walk straight whatsoever. Getting up off the chair, no. And so I'm sure she'll come by and see. But no, I told him I was like, oh, I'm very entertaining to watch the day after a marathon. Like moving is just not. But which there's one thing I had to warn my friends about yesterday, and it's their first time running this race. So, how they have the finish line, we go through the finish line and they corral us back into the convention center to where we can get our mug, pictures, our finisher shirt, and then pick up our things if we did a drop bag. And then they shuffle us out a different way to go like reunite with our families. So once you reunite with your family, you can go hang out in the park outside or you can go back home. So where we park, you have to take a giant staircase up and over to get back to your car. And I dread this staircase every single year because I've just run 26 miles. The last thing I want to do is climb a set of stairs, go up and down the set of stairs. But I know it happens every single year. There's no way around it. I got to go over the dang stinking stairs. So that is one fun thing I get to do tomorrow.
I'm excited to hear about that too.
Oh, yeah. And then everybody, all the marathoners, and they all groan going up, no. And then there's people who don't run it and they get impatient because we take forever to get up the stairs. And I'm like, you can go around me. Like at that point, I'm not nice to those people. I'm like, go around me, get out of the way. Let me try to climb up these stairs.
My gosh, I'm so excited for you to do this. I know you've done it so many times, but this is the first year that I know you.
I know
It's just been fun to like hear all about it.
I think it's the first year for like a lot of people who like I have a whole new set of people I work with. They don't know this side of me. One of them just found out I like to run and they're like, wait, really? And I was like, yeah, I run like 5 days a week and they just learned all this about me. And so it's kind of fun to like share this with like a new set of people.
I went into work on Monday. We had a work day, and on work days, I'm like leggings and a sweatshirt, and my hair's up, and like no makeup, whatever. And there's a couple of people from work that go to my church, and so they've seen me sing. Like when I sing, I curl my hair, wear makeup, like dress nice or whatever. And I'm like pretty presentable at school. But on Monday, the girl that sees me at church, she's like, "Wow, you look like you're about to go for a run." And I was like, "I mean, yeah, I already did that, and yeah, like I run." And she's like, "Oh, yeah." But then I like forget that people don't know that I run. Like, I just, and because I don't ever go to work with my hair up or, wear leggings or, whatever, I'm like, oh, well, I guess I do look like this today. It just doesn't occur to me.
I remember when in my running group, like when John and I first kind of started dating, like we had been friends, we knew each other through running, and we went out for a Tin Caps game. And it wasn't a running event, so, like, I got dressed up, had regular clothes on, and I remember, like, didn't hardly even know who you were, like, my running friends didn't know who I was outside of running. Like, when I got dressed up, they were just like, "Who are you?" Because I was always in running clothes or in a ponytail, and so the first time they ever saw me actually dressed up, it was just like, "You look like a whole different person." Because we are, like, when we have those different roles, you, like, change. So I do remember that.
Yeah, same goes for teaching. We went to this firehouse open house today. Like the fire department has an open house and like there's bounce houses and there's food trucks and they do demonstrations and things like that. And it's not often that I see my students out at these things because our town is big and there's 5 elementary schools that are huge. Like our elementary school alone is 1,000 kids and there's 5 schools. They're not all as big. But I saw one of my students there today, and a lot of times they're like, "Oh my gosh, who are you? What are you doing outside of school?" I do see a lot of kids at the baseball field too because it's like literally right next to our school. But yeah, like in all of those roles, seeing people outside of where they normally see you is yeah. So I feel like Monday coming back from break was like weeks ago, and I decided not to do any meetings. All of our meetings were like optional. We got to like we could do online trainings or whatever and I was like, "No, I'm not going to." And I'm so glad that I didn't for a couple of reasons. One, I was so productive. I got all of January planned. I got like I reorganized my room so that I now have space to like actually be organized. I've waited 4 months for that. And I just got so much done and I like posted about it on social media and like other teachers were like, "Oh my god, how'd you get all that stuff done?" And I was like, put in my headphones and my kid was running around with other boys and so I was left alone. But I'm glad I did not sign up for any meetings because I'm going to I had an intern in the fall and I'm going to have another intern in the spring. And I was told that because I have an intern, she's going to come in for 60 total hours in the semester just for reading that I get 30 reading credits for my license. I need 37 to renew my license next year. And I was like, okay, I guess I'm going to have to take this course that will give me 40 hours. And it was going to be like, a college type course, whatever. It's like the posting online, then you have to like comment on other people's posts after you do the readings and stuff like that. But then our person in my district was like, "You're gonna get 30 hours towards your reading credits to renew your license." And I was like, "Oh my gosh, like that's amazing. Did I get any for the last one? Because that would be really nice." And then I don't have to do any like online trainings. Like I'll have to go to reading meetings and I'll still get credit for that when our district people come and do those meetings and I have to go to those, which is fine. But on these work days to be able to actually get work done is 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 golden. It's like the cherry on top because we have not had a work day since the beginning of the school year and I had already gotten my report cards done over break and I just got so much done and I'm like I just need to be ahead with copies and with this cuz like as soon as the end of this month hits and we have musical auditions and then musical rehearsals and like my time is taken up and I'm just like please just let this new Becky, this new productive Becky like stay until the end of the school year because I feel so good about leaving school at the end of the day, and I'm trying to leave before 5 o'clock, and I don't know why I still haven't been able to, but that is my goal this week to leave before 5 o'clock at least 3 days and just have everything good because I feel like I haven't been able to get into a routine yet because I've always been like trying to catch up, but that work day was so nice.
I am impressed that you got all of January planned. Like,
Mhm.
we
I just
planned for
had to
the 4
truck
days we were coming
through
back.
it.
That was all.
Do have like an outline of what needs to happen. So that does help. Like I'm not just going at it blindly, but I said I have to get all of January done. It was a very lofty goal.
Yeah.
Um yeah, so I had to truck through like planning for the entire month. And I'm sure things are going to get like pushed back. We do have flex days at the end of our unit, but like I was like, it has to be there because it's so much to try and figure out what we're doing that I have to have it in my head. And then we have a print shop for our district. And so I wanted to send copies to the print shop so that they could just be delivered back to me. So I had to look ahead. So planning ahead was essential. So I knew what the worksheets were and like what we're doing. So and then when I left school yesterday, I planned for the first week of February because I figure if I'm a month ahead, then by the time we get to May, I don't have to do any planning. And then the last month of school will just be like easy. And our musical is the second week of May and we get out the last week of May. So it's like, it's so much with tech week and having to do everything that the less I have to do for the classroom and I can just go in and teach, the better. But also like, it's not complicated. Like we're teaching measurement. So like right now we're teaching length and we're teaching height and, the kids are walking around the room and measuring stuff with Unifix cubes. Like I'm not teaching anything hard. We're still teaching at, I mean, like it's easy content. So to plan for all of that is really, it's easy. I don't have to learn anything. So it's, yeah, to do
Grade.
that for fifth grade, that would have been,
Yeah. That's how I'm saying,
yeah,
like, I was able to plan for the
yeah.
first 4 days, and then, like, we're sitting there doing all this work to plan for this 4-day media unit, and we're like, which we're not even gonna use next year because 'cause we're gonna have a curriculum. So it's been so hard planning our reading this year and revamping it for our differentiated groups when we're like, all this work's gonna just get pushed to the side because we're gonna have a curriculum. The 3 of us decided to work together on it, and it took forever. And then we used AI for some things, and that was a hot mess. It like created articles and magazine things that had so many typos. We're like, ugh, this is awful, but it's whatever. But it's hard to plan that far ahead because with our groups, like I had everything for math planned out. By day 2, I was already changing things because they weren't getting it. Or I was like, oh, wow, we didn't have time. So it's so hard to plan that far out in the upper grades. I'm like, sometimes it's a day by day
Oh, and
thing.
then with testing too. When do y'all start testing season?
We have it all the time now. Well,
This
not all the
last
time, but
week.
we have those checkpoints
Again, oh my gosh.
because it's the checkpoint too.
But you guys checkpoint every quarter. Mhm, mhm. I was talking to my AP yesterday because we did testing yesterday, and, she was like, "All I'm doing is testing until the end of the year." She says, "Literally until the end of the year," because it started with 3rd through 5th grade, now it's kindergarten through 2nd grade, and then it's gonna be the WIDA access testing for the ELs, and that's gonna go on for 3 months because you have to test them individually and it's 4 parts to each test. And then she's like, "Oh, and then so that'll go until spring break. And then after spring break is going to be I don't know what people do in other states, but we have the Write Score test, like WRITE, and it's a writing test for the state of Florida. And so I think 4th and 5th grade take it. So there's testing for that. Then after that is our like spring testing, that's in April, and then the 3rd through 5th grade testing, which is in May. So
That
like,
that sounds about like here too. So we call our like ELL, well, they call them LEP now, but our language testing starts in like a couple weeks and it goes until spring break. And then we have and then in between that, we have our state testing in April, which takes up the whole month of April, which like the whole month of April, we're not really allowed to like do any visits or we don't do a lot of visits or any training. So like April will probably be like super quiet for me because they're just doing nothing but testing in April. It is just the most crazy thing. And then May, it like teeters off and there's nothing. We're just like finishing off the year semester exams and they're done. But no, like a lot of testing. That's why I asked like when y'all's testing season started, because I want to say they have maybe 2 more weeks and then they start and they just go between language testing, state testing. I mean, all the things. It's so crazy. So do y'all have
Oh,
state testing in your state, Allison?
Yes. So we have like the iLearn, and that's what we've been doing those checkpoints for. And like that's
Mhm.
what the data we use to make our flex grouping for our teaching of reading and math. So this year we started those checkpoints. So we took the checkpoint 1 in October. We're about to take the checkpoint 2, which covers those new standards. And then we'll have a checkpoint 3. And
Mhm.
then we'll take the summative, which is all of it. That covers all the standards. And we test for reading, math, and science. And then we usually do NWEA testing, which we did in the fall. They took away the writing, the language arts this year. So we didn't have to do that, which was one less test, thank goodness. And then in the winter, they decided to take away the testing for NWA because we're doing all the checkpoints, which was nice. So that eliminated some testing time to give us more time to teach and instruct. I don't know if we'll do NWA in the fall. They haven't made a decision. I would assume they would do it. So we have that year's worth of growth data, but we'll still have iLearn.
Mhm.
And it's just hard because the kids, by the time they do iLearn and then we turn around to do the NWA, they're like checked out. But third grade, it depends because they have to take iRead as well. But second graders now take it. They're given in second grade. And if they pass in second grade, they don't have to take it in third grade. So there'll be a chunk of kids who don't have to test at least, which is like strange to me because Oliver is a second grader. So he will be taking that test this year. And if he doesn't pass, he takes it again as a third grader. It's just he has to pass it in third
Mhm.
grade to be able to move on to fourth grade. But I'm not worried. Yeah. We're going to be testing here in 2 weeks, and then we'll look at that information and see how our kids do. It kind of makes me nervous, though, because we'll look at my kids and be like, okay, did they go up or down compared to the other groups? I'm like, I hope my kids perform as well as the other groups, or I'm like, I'm going to be thinking about my teaching career a little differently. But so that makes me nervous now they've been grouped with you. And then we'll probably switch groups again. I don't know. We'll see. And I'm just struggling because, like, right now we're teaching measurement in fourth grade. We literally had 1 day to teach inches, quarter inch and eighth inch, 1 day to teach centimeter and millimeter, and then 1 day to teach basic area and then go into complex area. So like it's just like teach one thing, move to the next. Move. I'm like, and my group that I have still's trying to figure out how to measure on inches as I've moved on to area, like in my whole group lesson. And there's so many behaviors that like for me to pull a group of kids, the rest are all squirrely because there's 25 of them. So it's hard to try to keep their attention. It's the end of the day too. And yeah, so we'll see.
You basically have to do a song and dance. I mean, that's basically what I do all day.
They would look at me like, what are you on?
I think in 5th grade, the kids just like that's just how I presented myself, and that was it. And they would sometimes roll their eyes, but they loved it. They loved it. I ran into the grandparents of a student that I had my very first year, well, here, so 3 years ago, and but he's in 8th grade, and I was like, I ran into them in a coffee shop, and they said, I don't know if it's true, but they said, "Oh yeah, he said that was his favorite year," and I was like, "I'll take it. I'll take it," because 5th graders are hard to please. They are. 4th graders are the same way. They're hard to please. Kindergartens, you could be like, "Hey," and give them a hug, and they are
Yeah.
set for life. That's it. Yeah,
But here we are. We're back to reality, back to work. Week 2. Here we go. Ready or not.
I know. And it's a full week.
And then we have a 4-day week because of Martin Luther King. And then the following, we only have 4 days with students because that Friday is a teacher work day. That's
Well,
what our
that's
flex days
great.
are.
That's
Yeah.
nice.
I just got to get through this 5-day week. So all of tomorrow, I'm going to be planning because I have nothing planned. Here we go. And play catch up,
Well,
coming
just
back on
come to my
myself.
classroom. I have the rest of January planned.
I know. I'm going to go to Florida and I'm going to teach kindergarten. Life's so much easier there, right?
Mhm.
That's it. I'm telling you, though, we need an extra teacher. Each one of our classes has 19 students, and
That's
we
not
keep
bad.
getting more kids. Just what?
19 is not bad compared to what we have up here in our
In
kindergarten
kindergarten?
classrooms.
What do you
For
have?
us, 19 would be great. We've had like classrooms of 23. We've had 5th grade classrooms of up to 30.
No.
Yeah.
No.
That makes sense, though. The higher you get in grades, the bigger the classes are. That totally makes
they
sense. I've had
shouldn't
classes of
be.
33.
They really
They shouldn't be, but I
be.
do.
But
I know.
23 kindergartners?
Yeah.
Like, my mom has talked about one of her friends who taught kindergarten in Chicago public schools who had 40 and no help. And I'm like, you're just hurting cats at that point. There's no small groups, your whole group teaching, call and response. Like your whole teaching has to change with that.
Yeah.
That's
You don't get to know the
insane.
kids the way you should.
No. No.
Mm.
No. No, not at all. Man. Okay, fine. 19's fine. And my 19 are sweet. I have one girl that tantrums and I'm like, go in the corner, have your cry, come back. And that's, I mean,
Like, can I go to the
that's it.
corner and cry?
And so
Come
sure.
back?
I do have a comfy corner. Yeah, with a coffee table. I have a Keurig,
Like,
Yeah.
I'll be right back, guys. I need a moment in my corner. Yes. BRB.
Excuse me a moment. Yes.
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 Yeah.
Oh my gosh. This has been awesome to be able to just catch up and see where we are because there's always a lot going on. And for our listeners, last week we hopped on here. I told my husband that it was just going to be like half an hour because we were just going to record a new intro and a new outro. And then an hour and a half later, I walked outside and I said, sorry, but I needed to catch up with them. It just, like, we've never met in person, but it feels like we know each other so well. And, it's just how it goes.
Yeah.
That's it.
Like we said, our goal is going to be 30
So-
minutes. And here we are, 10 minutes over because we just like to talk.
At 40.
Yeah.
Yes.
Like there's so much more I could
But we
probably
did
still talk
good.
to you guys about.
Mm-hmm.
Yes, there is. But for now, we will say goodbye and we will catch up next week and just hear about Katie's marathon. We'll hear how Allison's week went with needing to know what to do with her students. And I do have some fun kindergarten stories to tell that I did not even get to this week. So I will make sure to write them down because there was a couple of doozies this week. So I'll have to share that next week.
Yes. Can't wait. Thanks for sipping and sharing a moment with us today. We can't wait to keep showing up with you each week. Messy, caffeinated, and real.
And if you like what you heard, we'd be so grateful if you'd follow, subscribe, or share this with your teacher bestie, mom group chat, or training partner, or all three. It helps more people find our little corner of chaos and connection.
Make sure to hit follow so you don't miss next week's episode. And don't forget to connect with us on Instagram at Espresso Yourself Podcast. Tell us what resonated, share your own stories, what topics you want us to cover, or just come say hi.
Until next time, keep showing up.
Keep giving yourself grace.
And espresso yourself.
One
sip at a time.
time.